Hey guys, it's Chris. From a man critically wounded by his own pet scorpion to some of the most savage four-legged pets imaginable, here are 10 of the scariest pets people own. Number 10. Tarantulas. Let's start off the list with tarantulas. They're undoubtedly one of the scariest pets that people own. And if you're particularly scared of spiders, tarantulas are 100% the most terrifying pet ever. Imagine showing up to your date's house and he has cages of tarantulas in his room. That would literally be the worst. However, tarantulas are not as scary as they seem. Sure, if you have arachnophobia, you're going to be terrified regardless. But the truth is that tarantulas don't generally attack their owners. They can bite, but most owners say that it doesn't hurt more than a bee sting. Unless, of course, you're allergic, in which case it can be fatal. Tarantulas are one of those exotic pets that you look at but can't really do anything with. They're more of a statement pet to let people know how weird you are, I guess. There are more than 1,000 species of tarantulas that have been discovered today, with possibly many more that still haven't been cataloged by scientists. They all have a unifying feature in their fuzzy hair that covers their body. Some of these hairs can actually irritate the skin and damage your eyes if they get in your face, so there's still a reason to be careful around them. In case you ever thought that you were alone with your arachnophobia, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, arachnophobia is the third most popular fear in America, with roughly 30.5% of people suffering from the phobia. Number 1, of course, is the fear of public speaking. Do you have a fear of spiders or any other animals? Let me know what about them scares you so much. Just leave a comment below. Then be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I have a ton of other awesome videos coming out soon. So if you don't subscribe, you might just miss them. Number 9. The United States tiger problem. Just to be clear, the United States definitely has a tiger problem. Rather than focusing on just one pet tiger, let's talk about the country's obsession with owning these wild beasts. We've all undoubtedly by now seen the hit Netflix show Tiger King, where we all learned that you can basically buy a tiger from a sketchy breeder for about $2,000. According to a report from the BBC, it's very possible there are more captive tigers in the United States than there are wild tigers in the entire world. And it's all centered on the state of Texas, where the state government basically doesn't enforce any laws associated with these exotic creatures. This has allowed everybody to buy and sell tigers without any oversight at all. According to the same report by the BBC, there are as many as 7,000 tigers currently living in the United States, either in zoos or in a private home. Estimates place that as being around double the number of tigers currently prowling the jungles of the world. What makes these especially scary pets is that most of the tigers in America are living in people's backyards. They aren't registered, nobody really knows how many tigers are around, and they are ridiculously dangerous. And I mean, obviously a tiger cub is super cute as a baby, until of course they grow to be a little too big and decide to rip your arm off. What about you? Would you ever adopt a tiger? What makes people think this is a good idea? Seems crazy to me, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Number 8. Brutus the grizzly bear. Brutus is a grizzly bear. He weighs about 800 pounds, and he prefers to eat his meals at the dinner table with his adopted human family. This is a pretty amazing story, as the giant bear has been raised since just a cub by a man named Casey Anderson. According to a report from the Daily Mail, Brutus and Casey are literally inseparable. They're so close that when Casey married his wife in 2008, Brutus the bear actually stood in as his best man. This kind of makes people who have a dog for their best friend look like wimps. Brutus is such a relaxed and caring bear that he has actually become a part of Casey's family. He sits at the kitchen table just like one of the fam. He gives amazing bear hugs, and he has never hurt a fly. Some commenters on the internet are obviously in an uproar, saying that it's extremely dangerous to have a bear in the house, and maybe it is a little. But the truth is that bears are definitely not bloodthirsty human killers, and when raised properly, it turns out they can actually make pretty good friends. But still, this is definitely a scary pet that most people wouldn't want in their homes. This still seems really dangerous to me, but raising a bear from infancy might mean that it's pretty safe to have him around the house. At least no burglars in their right mind would ever attempt to rob this family. Number 7. Jessica the hippo. Most people couldn't imagine a more terrifying pet than a hippopotamus. Hippopotamuses are often considered the most violent and most dangerous animals in all of Africa. They've been known to attack pretty much any animal, and anyone who lives near a place with hippopotamuses is rightly afraid of them. But there is one exception. Jessica the hippo is a very special creature who lives in South Africa and is one of the sweetest animals you'll ever meet. She's never attacked anyone, she shows nothing but love for her human companions, and she displays some extremely unique characteristics that make her oddly human. Because Jessica the hippopotamus was raised by humans, her owners claim that sometimes she herself thinks she's a person. Jessica has actually become a worldwide phenomenon because of her adorable antics, and she even has her own fan club. This is the only instance I know of where a hippopotamus lives in harmony with people, allowing them to cuddle up for a hug. Number 6. Rambo the alligator. There are lots of alligators in Florida, but one special alligator named Rambo is nothing like the rest. He's a gentle alligator who, much like Brutus the bear, eats dinner at the table with his family, sleeps in a bed with his human mother, and follows his mom around the house like a dog. His owner is a 55-year-old local woman, and she's actually been fighting in court to keep her gator. She was just recently denied a permit to keep it in the house. The problem is that her alligator is 6 feet long, and her property is not big enough according to the local government for her to use as an alligator farm. But in the end, the law probably won't stop her from keeping her alligator. You can't exactly go on somebody's property and steal their best friend. I mean, just look at the photos. Rambo is a local celebrity. He wears clothes, he knows how to ride an ATV, he's basically human. Rambo even wears some cool sunglasses, and he's been spotted sitting at the table reading a book. He's also been known to drive the family truck. Number 5. Rocky the bobcat. A bobcat may not seem scary to everyone, but to some people this would definitely be a pretty frightening pet to have lurking around the house. A perfect example of how unpredictable a bobcat can be is the story of Rocky, a bobcat who had been living as a pet in someone's house until the law stepped in and took Rocky away. This bobcat actually got pretty famous in Stafford Township after it kept on breaking out of its home and running around the neighborhood. Because of Rocky's bad behavior, the local authorities had to step in. The owner then pleaded guilty to letting the dangerous bobcat run free and eventually was forced to hand Rocky over. The bobcat has now been sentenced to serve a life sentence at the Popcorn Park Zoo, where it's doubtful he will have any chance of escape. All in all, a life sentence at the zoo where he can live in a large natural habitat is a good ending to a story that could have been much more tragic. Number 4. The polar bear movie star. Some pets turn into movie stars. In Canada, there's a film star named Aggie, and she's apparently a bit of a diva. She's also a giant polar bear, but unlike most polar bears, Aggie gets treated like Canadian royalty. She has a giant trailer that she uses to travel between movie sets, included with a wading pool. And as reported by Toronto's City News, she does not like to have any interaction with her co-stars or with the crew while she prepares for very important scenes. The polar bear is 24 years old, and she's very protective of her manager. She apparently gives the stink eye to anyone on set who approaches or talks to her manager. Aggie only tolerates the manager's wife on working days. The polar bear weighs around 800 pounds. She's often pretty cranky, and she is definitely an apex predator. But she's also a movie star who you might recognize from the new survival drama Arctic. So far as scary pets go, this is definitely one of them. She's unique in the fact that she's not really a pet, but kind of is at the same time. Aggie was raised from a baby by her trainer with the purpose of being a movie star, and so far it's worked out pretty well. Number 3. Nicolas Cage's King Cobras. Nicolas Cage is one of the weirdest actors in Hollywood, and he's been acting since before a lot of us were born. He's had so many roles it's almost impossible to count them, and he's got more weird rumors surrounding him than really any other actor. Some people claim he went bankrupt from buying castles, and there are other rumors that say he actually stole a T-Rex skull from a museum. And then there's the story about him being attacked by his 2 pet king cobras. And that last story is absolutely true, according to Nick Cage himself. In an interview with the New York Times, the actor revealed that he did indeed purchase 2 king cobras, and they did indeed try to kill him. He also claimed that they influenced the way he acted in the movie Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Cage said that his king cobras basically hated him, that they would try to hypnotize him by showing him their backs. Then they would lunge at the actor and try to bite him. He actually needed to get the snakes rehomed in a zoo after he talked about them on The Late Show with David Letterman, as the neighborhood he lived in got extremely angry that the actor had a pair of cobras slithering around on his property. When you have pets that are so scary your neighbors are scared, that's when you know your pets should probably be in a zoo. Number 2. Pet scorpion. Having a pet scorpion might seem like a cool way to show off, but it's probably not. A man named Dean Armstrong lost his stomach in 2016 after he was bitten by his pet scorpion. That is a seriously scary incident, and I don't need any more proof that owning a scorpion's a bad idea. The story starts like this. Dean named his scorpion Sue after adopting it from his local pet shop, who couldn't sell the scorpion because it only had one claw and couldn't eat properly. Everything was going fine until one day when he was feeding the scorpion and it attacked him. According to Dean himself, he walked to the hospital feeling like he was having a stroke. The sting from the scorpion was so intense that part of his stomach and his pancreas had to be removed in an emergency operation. Trying to feed Sue the scorpion literally sentenced Dean to wear a colostomy bag for the rest of his life. Number 1. Wolf dogs. Wolf dogs are the coolest animal in the world. If you've ever wanted to own a wolf but have been terrified because owning a wolf is obviously a really terrible idea, well, the next best thing is to see if you can find a wolf dog. But keep in mind that these animals are not for everyone. They can scare your neighbors, they can scare your friends, and you might have a hard time finding people to spend time with if they think you're walking around with a wolf. You might also get the police called on you because wolf dogs really do look like their wild relatives. Another issue with owning wolf dogs is that they can be really dangerous, and sometimes they end up being rehomed. Wolf dogs are illegal in some states, and according to the Dodo, they are often euthanized after being dumped at a shelter because they're just so much to handle. And while these animals are certainly beautiful and exciting, you might want to think twice before heading out to get one for yourself. So, which of these incredibly scary pets would you like to have in your home? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks as always for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you again soon for another amazing video. Can you think of a pet that, despite its maybe being scary, you'd still like to own? If so, which animal and why?